Hi guys, welcome back to Team Evolve. My name is Vivian. I am a head coach. Head coach, there's two of us. We're both head coaches, but I'm a head coach of Team Evolve. I'm an online nutrition and fitness coach. I work with women one-on-one to help them transform their body, of course, that's a given, but their body and their mind. And their mind, because your mental health and your mental strength plays an enormous part in your weight loss and fitness journey. So I always emphasize that with every one of my clients, because if they don't work on their mind, the body will not follow. All right, so now that I've gotten that out of the way, I want to talk about a few nutrition hacks that I have found so helpful in my own fat loss journey. Most of us today struggle with emotional eating. We struggle with boredom eating, stress eating, and my goodness, I know that I am completely the same way. I am a bit of a control freak. And I say bit, I say I'm a lot of a control freak. I also am a workaholic, and that can be stressful. Both of those can be stressful. So stress eating is not a stranger to me, I will tell you that. But I do want to talk about a few things that I have found to be very helpful when it comes to my nutrition and helping me be on track with my fat loss goals despite these emotional eating cravings coming up. All right. And the first thing that I've really found to help me is intermittent fasting. And I do not stick to a strict, hard intermittent fasting schedule. I do what feels good for me every day, but I do try to push my first meal as far out as possible. Why do I do that? That is because usually at the end of the night is when the stress eating and the emotional eating creep up on me. And I know that is true for so many of us. So because I know that towards the end of the day, I'm going to want to snack more and eat more, I would like to reserve the majority of my calories towards closer to the end of the day. Meaning I like to, in the morning, I'm usually busy with chores, going to the gym, clients, and so it's a really great time for me to just focus on work. And it's a lot easier for me to not think about food because I have so many other things to do. So all the calories that I would have eaten in the morning, I now save towards the end of the night, which I find incredibly helpful because I already am craving more food and more snacks towards the end of the night. Many fitness coaches will say this is a vicious cycle. They'll tell you that because you don't eat breakfast, you are inevitably wanting to binge at night. Your body's basically saying, I didn't get enough nutrition in the morning, and so now I want to binge and snack and eat later. So they say that you would actually solve that nighttime snacking and eating and binging if you were just to eat breakfast. I will say that this varies for every person. I do think that is true for many women. They're binging at night because they're not eating enough in the morning. I've noticed that for many of my clients that if they just eat breakfast, they don't even have cravings for dinner, okay? For me personally, I have experimented with both. I have experimented with eating breakfast and seeing how that affects my evening hunger. And what I can tell you is that I have zero change in my appetite. If not, I actually want to eat more and more and more if I eat earlier. So for me, I have found that to not be true, which is why I have stuck to intermittent fasting for, I want to say over 10 years now, somewhere between 7 to 10 years. But I've switched on and off, and I wanted to personally experiment with, okay, maybe I don't eat as much at night if I have breakfast, lunch, and just eat at regular intervals throughout the day. And again, I have not found that to be the case. So I don't go over my daily caloric intake. I intermittent fast, and I usually eat lunch around 12 or 1. Then I eat a snack around 3, dinner around 6, and then maybe another snack around 7:30. So that is the eating schedule that really works for me and accommodates for the emotional stress, bored eating that tends to happen to me in the evening. So that's the first nutrition hack that I have found monumentally helpful in my own fat loss journey. Okay, now the second one is caffeine. Coffee and tea have been indispensable in my fat loss journey, especially when my food intake gets low. Caffeine is a natural appetite suppressant. There is a limit of how much caffeine you should have. And if you have any medical conditions that cause caffeine to stress your body out even more, then perhaps you should avoid it altogether. There is decaf coffee and there is decaf tea that you can also go to. But I find that black coffee, no creamers, no sugars, nothing. And yes, it probably tastes disgusting if you're not used to it, but just try it for a few weeks to a month. Your taste buds may adjust. They really just might. But black coffee, whether that's decaf or regularly caffeinated, and tea, especially when my calories get low, when I'm deep in a fat loss phase, it helps my hunger so much. So I'm not just sitting there with my stomach rumbling and me just thinking about food. The extra water, the caffeine, it helps decrease my appetite, and so my mind is no longer on food. I'm not feeling physically hungry, and so I can focus on the tasks that I need to address at hand. So honestly, for me, coffee, tea, and other caffeinated drinks like 0-calorie energy drinks are complete game changers for me in my fat loss phase. Do I think that those are the healthiest things for your body? No, I do not. There is a complete difference between fat loss and doing what is healthy for you. I also believe you can be slightly overweight and still be healthy, okay? So I just want you to know that these are two separate things. They're two separate things. You can be, I do believe you can be slightly on the heavier side, have excess body fat, but still work out, eat healthy, eat your fruits and vegetables, eat lean proteins, do all the right things, get your sleep, get in your water. But sometimes people just genetically carry more body fat than the average person, but they are still healthy, at least in my eyes. So again, I just want to say fat loss, doing what it takes to lose fat and doing what it takes to be healthy they're not always the same thing, okay? But that is the second nutrition hack that really, really helps me during my fat loss phase. All right, now the third hack that I want to talk about is protein shakes. And I like to go very minimal with my protein shakes. I don't add 1,000,001 ingredients because that's just adding additional calories that I could be using towards real food. But why do I like protein shakes? I love protein shakes because protein is so satiating, and protein combined with water is extremely satiating as well. Being hydrated helps your hunger. So the combination of protein and water, that is a hunger busting magical potion. And so what I personally like to do is actually have a protein shake before I have my main meal. And the reason for that is because when I eat a main meal, I tend to get pretty snacky after. I have my main meal and then I want something sweet and then I want something salty, and now I'm just adding additional calories that I may not have needed to have. Whereas I've noticed that when I have a protein shake before I eat my main meal, the protein shake helps me decrease my hunger before my main meal. So once I finish my main meal, after that, I am fully satisfied. And so the protein shake may add anywhere between 120 to 200 calories, depending on if I'm adding frozen fruit into it. So 200 calories plus my main meal. Whereas if I didn't have that protein shake, I have my main meal and now I'm still hungry. And so maybe I have a 200 to 300 calorie sweet snack and then a 200 to 300 calorie salty snack. And I'm weird because when I have something sweet, I also want something salty with it. If I have something salty, I also want something sweet with it. So now I'm just adding additional calories with my main meal. And you may be thinking, why don't you just bulk up your main meal to be heavier, be more full? But I've just noticed my tendency is I like to have a lot of different things in a meal rather than one solid thing. I like to have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and a little bit of this. I like variety, right? So because I like variety, I really have just found that having that protein shake, it really helps decrease the cravings. It really helps decrease the hunger. And then I just don't really have that desire for so much variety anymore because I'm just really not that hungry after the protein shake and the meal. So that hack personally helps me, and it's something that I've recommended to a lot of my clients. I always tell them, hey, just try this out, see how it goes. If you don't like it, we do not have to continue with it. But they've also found that pairing a protein shake with their meal really helps satiate them, and then they're full for several hours after. They don't feel snacky, they don't feel like they have to munch on little things throughout the day. And again, it's just a pivotal, monumental, such a helpful habit that can really help shave off some calories of your daily diet, which at the end of the day, that's what fat loss is about, is taking in less calories than you're burning, okay? So those are the 3 things, the 3 nutrition hacks that have helped me in my fat loss journey time and time and time again. Time and time and time again, which is why I'm sharing it with you, all right? So I hope you found that helpful. Please, oh my God, I would so appreciate it if you followed me on Instagram at Viv's Gym. You can find so much more fitness and nutrition tips on there. I would love if you could support me over there. I will totally follow you back. If you have any questions at all, feel free to message me on Instagram, or you can leave a comment down below as well. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for joining me. And I also just want you to know that these habits are not rules. They are not things that you have to do, but test them out. If you've never tried them, test them out. See if they help your fat loss journey, your nutrition habits, especially if you struggle with boredom eating or over snacking, because I know for me, these habits really help address those bad habits that I wanted to break, okay? So I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.